This was a very popular job. We had over 50, 60 applications for this job. We interviewed 10 people for it, and it came down. We did second interviews, and it came down. This is Coach Forshee here, Robert Forshee. He comes to us from East Mecklenburg High School. He a 2003 graduate of SUNY Cortland, New York. He's been a D coordinator or position coach at West Charlotte High School, Harding University High School, and most recently, East Mecklenburg High School's D coordinator. His first day working here will be March 11th. He will start teaching here March 11th. And I want to say welcome to UA family, Robert, and we're glad to have you here.
Hey, thank all you guys for coming out here tonight. First, I want to thank the administration for the opportunity and believing in myself that I'm the right guy for this job. I thank you guys for that. And I'm going to do everything in my power to make this a successful program. All right, not just this year, but for time down the road as well. Coach Henson gave you a little bit of background about me. I've been in CMS the last 10 years. I played college football as well as rugby. And this is something that's been a goal of mine since I was in high school. The last game that I ever played in high school, I was playing Mike linebacker, and I'm out on the field, and all week I'm drawing up plays, taking them to coach, let's try this, so he didn't want to hear about it. So about middle of the second quarter, I thought it was time to try one of those plays. That was a mistake. I spent the rest of the first half on the sideline, and looking back on it, that wasn't the right thing to do, but at the time I thought it was. It kind of put the coach out there, made him think that we all weren't on board, and then what it did is it ended up hurting the team. So I feel like this was destiny, a little bit of fate, and I'm glad to be here, and I appreciate that. A little bit about my expectations and goals, all right, is to put together a team full of young adults that at the end of the day, we can hold our head high, all right? So we want to be able to hold our head high regardless of the outcome and be better people for it due to the process on how we got there and how we're going to get there and how we're going to do things as a team and as a Union Academy family. The first part of that process is a student athlete. There's a reason why student is in front of the athlete, because you're a student first. If you're not good in the classroom and you're not making the grades, then you're not going to be able to be an athlete. So part of that process is going to be being a student athlete. The next thing we want to talk about is being unselfish. I'm new here, all right? First time we've ever met. It's going to take a little bit of time for us to learn each other's trust, and that's one of my big goals. And we got to be willing to do what's good for the team as well as what's good for the community. The next thing that kind of goes along with that is personal sacrifices. We got to be willing to make the necessary sacrifices in order to be successful. That means we've got to be at practice. All right, we've got to be watching film on your own time. We got huddle. All right, you guys will all have an access code to that. A lot of you guys have been on there. I've been on there. I've seen you on there watching films. I've watched your highlight tapes already. I'm excited about what we got coming back. Obviously, you got your hard work. Or part of the process is going to be hard work. Teamwork. When we get done with this thing, we're going to be talking about one heartbeat. We're not a bunch of individuals. We're going to be together as a team, the coaching staff included. Character is a big issue for myself, and I know it's a big issue for the community here as well as your administration. We got to represent your own family, the UA family, your team, and most importantly, you represent yourself. And what we want to do is not do anything to embarrass ourselves or your team or the UA family. Commitment, we talked a little bit about that, about practice. We got to be here. All right, I understand you guys have fall break. I get it, you guys want to go places. We talk about commitment and sacrifice. That's going to be part of the program. And then dealing with adversity. We've got to be able to deal with adversity. Because it's not adversity that defines us, it's how we deal with the adversity that's going to leave your footprints. Now, also, through parents, school community, and team all working towards the same goal, that's also going to take us through our process on how we're going to get to where we're going. If we can handle and take care of the process, the outcome will take care of itself. We're going to work hard. We're going to start working hard March 11th. We're going to have a meeting after school on March 11th with the football players that aren't playing a spring sport in this room, and we're off and running. I'm not going to get big into the wins and losses. Let's take care of the process. Let's do what we need to do. And the wins and losses, I promise you, will take care of themselves. And we will all be better members of society for it. Thank you.
Another thing we'll do real quick is we got if anybody has any questions for Coach, he's more than happy. We'll open the floor for questions. And we have a question to ask him, just raise your hand and we'll call him to ask a question.
Yes, sir.
What was, I guess, I hate to make it sound like an interview question, but I guess, what is it drew you down here, beyond just the head coaching opportunity?
Well, what drew me down here was the fact that it's a small school, small community, and that's where I came from initially, was from a small town, and I wanted to get back into that atmosphere and get more involved on that end as opposed to being in a big city.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Will there be a JV team?
No, that's a good question. We have talked extensively about the JV team. We would like there to be a JV team, yes. It's going to all depend on our numbers. I feel that's something that could make the program better, and it will make the program better. However, we've got to have numbers in order to do that. So if the numbers are there, then that's definitely something that is going to be taken into consideration, for sure.
Just to follow up, do you have a threshold that would determine whether or not we have a JV team?
We were talking 25 to 30 kids. Is that what we're speaking about?
I'd say, yeah, about 45, 50 kids for the whole program.
Total.
So spread the word.
Yes, sir.
Who would be coaching the JV team if you did have one?
Well, same staff that's coaching the varsity would coach the JV team as well.
How would that work?
Well, varsity would be doing offense, JV would be doing defense, and we'd split the staff that way. Then we'd flop it halfway through practice, depending on how the periods are broken down. Yes, sir.
Do you have in mind who you're going to have in the staff? Do you have your own staff? Or you're gonna...
I do. We're about 95% set on that staff. There are some guys that I need to talk to here that I haven't, so it's not done yet, but we're working towards that. Yes.
When will that be nailed down?
I'm hoping within the next week or two. I got to talk to some guys that were here on staff, and I got a couple guys that are in limbo right now.
I'm going to give him all the coaches that were on staff this past year's contact information. He's going to contact each one of them and speak with each one of them.
I'm also super excited. I got 33 of you guys coming back this year. We should be able to make some noise if we all combine and head us in the right direction. Yes, sir.
Once you get here, will you be in charge of the lifting off-season program?
Yes, sir.
All right.
We got to get that rolling.
Yes, sir.
That's important. Yes, sir.
Just so you know, we got a strength and conditioning coach from last year.
Uh-huh.
He's a very well-educated guy. He's got degrees and stuff. He's been running the weight program, and
Right.
working us out after school and stuff. I'm sure everybody right here would appreciate you keeping him on.
I'll take that into consideration. I appreciate that. I appreciate your honesty, for sure. That's definitely something, if he's interested in doing, that we'll work closely to do that, for sure. He's got a little bit of an edge to him. I like that.
Well, y'all, thanks everybody for coming out. We're going to be around if anybody has any questions for Coach, Athletic Director, Ms. Stewart, the principal, anybody, please. We appreciate your dedication to be here. Look forward to Friday Night Lights.
Thank y'all again.
Don't forget to schedule.